What's up YouTube, this is Lucas with FoxHawk Gaming, and today we're going to be going over the huge update we just got to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links in the form of the PvP ranked system revamp and the structure decks that just dropped. So PvP now lasts a month long each season, and we now have the Legend bracket, which is above Platinum, who now has 5 ranks in it instead of 3. You cannot drop from a bracket, so once you're Legend, you're Legend. Once you're Platinum, you're Platinum. Most noteworthy is that we now have insanely increased gym rewards. We get 10 each rank and 50 upon reaching a new bracket, which eventually turns into 100 at Platinum and Legend, and 200 at King of Games. So, vast improvement, a lot more incentive to play now. But not only that, they don't stop there. Even if you can't end on a high rank, there's cumulative victory bonuses. So maxing out at 100, which it says it then changes to golden gems, which sounds nice too. But we get a combination of money, tickets, and gems. The super rare tickets are probably the most exciting thing out of these. So essentially what it is from any legendary duelist non-event, you can pick a super rare from them, and one of these tickets is a glossy, so that could help for farming purposes. There's some new cards here, nothing I think is too noteworthy. You can check those out in the Duel Links menu, but a lot of people I think will be excited to pick up their playsets of enemy controllers now if they haven't gotten them to drop yet. So let's look at the structure decks. Let's look at Sorcerer's Alliance first, which is Yugi's starter deck meant to go with the Power of Dark skill. These structure decks cost 500 gems for a one-time limit, or $4. So pretty affordable, honestly, considering the value we get, but let's look if it's worth it. Yugi's boss monster is Trance the Magic Swordsman. While not too insane, really, it's a 2600 mint for new players at 1 tribute. Not terrible, but I don't think it's going to get a lot of people excited. Another noteworthy card is Magical Undertaker. Eventually, we may get the right cards to abuse this. He gets 1 level 4 or lower Spellcaster monster from your graveyard and special summons it. That is insanely powerful, but right now I don't think we really have the Spellcasters to take advantage of this in a competitive way. But I think eventually we possibly could and have the proper engine to support it. In the structure deck though, it's honestly not doing a whole lot. It's essentially protecting Neo, which, excitingly enough, we now have a full playset of Neo. 1900 under Power of Dark, normal monster. Very, very strong in Power of Dark decks. Probably noteworthy that it's a light monster for eventual Chaos support. But the rest of the deck seems to fall behind. Soul Rope is probably the next noteworthy card. Eventually, we may get the right cards to take advantage of this very powerful effect. But right now, it just looks far too conditional and just not abusable in the ways that we need it to be competitive. But a noteworthy card that I like. In a structure deck, though, starting out, I still don't think this was a strong choice, for, especially for a beginner deck. Anyways, there's some very questionable includes in this one. Illusory Gentleman is very weak, even for beginners. Destructive Draw is also very weak. It costs life points to maintain. It benefits both players when they don't have cards in their hand, and if it's removed, inflict 3000 damage to yourself. Wow, that's a lot. It's supposed to combo with Rope of Life, but Rope of Life isn't really that good, honestly. We have conditional hand discard right now, and we still can't abuse it correctly. So We could eventually see cards that allow us to do something insane to trigger off this, but overall, it's just isn't really that good, and especially not in the structure deck, honestly. I know they tried doing something cute here, but I just don't think it's very friendly to any player, honestly, no matter where you're beginning at or still playing in this game. But that's the Yugi structure deck. Let's look at Kaiba's. So Kaiba's costs the same amount and is called Dragonic Force. So this is where all the power seems to be. His boss monster is fairly notable, but nothing too crazy. It's a light dragon, and it can't be special summoned except from the graveyard, and only if it was sent there from the field. So it's already limited, but it can gain a lot of attack here. So, crazy, not really, but that's not where the power lies in Kaiba's deck. Let's look at this guy, Nuit. 1900 attack under peak performance. And whenever he's targeted by spell, trap card, or card effect, special summon one dragon type normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard and make its attack and defense 0. So, wow, this can be very powerful. As we know with Venus, we've seen how powerful it can be, even swarming the field with weak cards. Is this card quite abusable right now? Nothing too crazy. Noteworthy is Darkstorm Dragon is a normal type monster in the graveyard, which then gets an effect and can wipe out your opponent's spell or trap cards, so very noteworthy. I think eventually he will be very abusable. We just need the right engine and targets for him. So, very strong card for eventually, probably for competitive players, very strong for beginners that need high attack monsters. On to our next card, Exploder Dragon. It's a Yomi ship for dragons, and you can't take any battle damage from attacks involving this card. Now, I'm a fan of Yomi ship. I think it's very powerful right now. Ever since Relinquished dropped in play, Yomi ship has been way more powerful. And this is no exception. It gets us some dragon synergy, so if we have the right synergy, this can definitely see play. Wattail Dragon, it's a 2500s, 1 tribute, so new players, it's a light monster. Eventually we may see some synergy we want to use, but mostly for new players at this moment in time. Hunter Dragon, 1900 under peak performance, and it's a dark type dragon. So 1900 is it's just strong. It's playable, probably not optimal, considering peak performance now has a critical mass of 1900 and even a 2000 monster it can choose from. And it does work with Order to Charge though, so that's a very noteworthy include. So strong in a beginner type deck, you get 3 of them. So if you're a competitive player and you want to eventually pick up Nuit, getting 3 of this guy isn't a bad deal at all. Strong, I like him. As for the rest of it, there's some questionable includes in here. Advanced Force, you tribute a level 5 or higher monster to tribute summon a level 7. You're just down a lot of cards to do it. Advanced Zone, again, it rewards you for tributing, but you're going to be down a lot of cards, so this card, unless we see the right support, it's probably not going to be worth it. Tyrant Wing. Not bad for beginners, honestly. Not insanely great, but it gains you 400 attack and defense in the damage step, so you can have some tricks as a new player. I definitely like it. It can attack up to 2 monsters during each battle phase, but if it attacks a monster, it destroys this card at the end phase. So, Noteworthy is that you target a dragon type monster, so this is currently one of our enablers for Nuit. So there's something to be said just for that. Dragon's Rebirth, I mean, targets a dragon type monster, so more Nuit shenanigans, but it banishes the target, and if it's not disrupted during that, you special summon a dragon type monster from your hand or graveyard. Noteworthy that it brings back huge stuff like Dark Storm Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, but it puts you down a card, so take that as you will. It definitely has a lot of potential. I like the card. Right now, it's not really a reason to pick up the deck, but if you're just getting them because of some of these other cards, not bad to have. Kimori Dragon, not crazy, but it's a dark type dragon, so noteworthy. And Altar for Tributes, probably the weirdest card in this deck. It's meant to work with Nuit, but it's still super awkward. Overall, this deck, I think, is a win in design for Konami. I think there's some cards that aren't going to shake things up, but competitive players may want and may eventually want some of the cards that are from this. Mostly, though, for new players, in which this seems like a whole lot of value. You can pick up Vanguard of the Dragon from the card trader and take out some of these weirder cards and put in your 1900 beater. Very strong. Wattel Dragon is a very affordable way to get some synergy with him too, and very playable for new players that are overwhelmed with trying to get into this game. So overall, I think this is a very strong pick for people that are trying to get into the game, honestly. This gives you a lot of 1900 beaters to work with, and then you can focus on getting some trap and spell support for your deck. So overall, I think this was a win here. They weren't trying to shake up things too much, again, with their card design, but they planted a lot of seeds. Nuit, I expect to see some play eventually. We just need the right synergies going on. Anyways, tell me what you think. I love to know what you think about the new PvP Duel revamps. If you're excited about that, I know I am. I'm going to be playing PvP a lot now. Way more than I was before because of the increase in gym rewards. And tell me what you think about the structure decks. Do you like them? Do you think they're a good addition to the game? Are they good for new players? Maybe you have some combos that I didn't see. So feel free to put those in the comments below. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.